Boxer dog.
The Boxer is a breed of stocky, medium-sized, short-haired dogs developed in Germany. Their coat is smooth and tight-fitting. Colors are fawn or brindled, with or without white markings, which may cover the entire body, and white. Boxers are brachycephalic, have a square muzzle, mandibular prognathism, very strong jaws, and a powerful bite ideal for hanging on to large prey. The Boxer was bred from the Old English Bulldog and the now extinct Bullenbeisser, and is part of the Molosser group. Boxers were first exhibited in a dog show for St. Bernards in Munich in 1895, the first Boxer club being founded the next year. Based on 2012 American Kennel Club statistics, Boxers held steady as the seventh most popular breed of dog in the United States for the third consecutive year.
Appearance.
The head is the most distinctive feature of the Boxer. The breed standard dictates that it must be in perfect proportion to the body and above all it must never be too light. The greatest value is to be placed on the muzzle being of correct form and in absolute proportion to the skull. The length of the muzzle to the whole of the head should be a ratio of 1:3. Folds are always present from the root of the nose running downwards on both sides of the muzzle, and the tip of the nose should lie somewhat higher than the root of the muzzle. In addition, a Boxer should be slightly prognathous, that is, the lower jaw should protrude beyond the upper jaw and bend slightly upwards in what is commonly called an underbite or undershot bite. Boxers were originally a docked and cropped breed, and this is still done in some countries. However, due to pressure from veterinary associations, animal rights groups, and the general public, both cropping of the ears and docking of the tail have been prohibited in many countries around the world. A line of naturally short-tailed, bobtail, Boxers was developed in the United Kingdom in anticipation of a tail docking ban there. After several generations of controlled breeding, these dogs were accepted in the Kennel Club, UK, registry in 1998, and today representatives of the bobtail line can be found in many countries around the world. However, in 2008, the FCI added a naturally stumpy tail as a disqualifying fault in their breed standard, meaning those Boxers born with a bobtail can no longer be shown in FCI member countries. In the United States and Canada as of 2012, cropped ears are still more common in show dogs, even though the practice of cosmetic cropping is currently opposed by the American Veterinary Medical Association. In March 2005 the AKC breed standard was changed to include a description of the uncropped ear, but to severely penalize an undocked tail.
Coat and colors.
The Boxer is a short-haired breed, with a shiny, smooth coat that lies tight to the body. The recognized colors are fawn and brindle, frequently with a white underbelly and white on the feet. These white markings, called flash, often extend onto the neck or face, and dogs that have these markings are known as flashy. Fawn denotes a range of color, the tones of which may be described variously as light tan or yellow, reddish tan, mahogany or stag deer red, and dark honey blonde. In the UK and Europe, fawn Boxers are typically rich in color and are often called red. Brindle refers to a dog with black stripes on a fawn background. Some brindled Boxers are so heavily striped that they give the appearance of reverse brindling, fawn's stripes on a black body. These dogs are conventionally called reverse brindles, but that is actually a misnomer, they are still fawn dogs with black stripes. In addition, the breed standards state that the fawn background must clearly contrast with or show through the brindling, so a dog that is too heavily brindled may be disqualified by the breed standard. The Boxer does not carry the gene for a solid black coat color and therefore purebred black Boxers do not exist. Dark brindle dogs in the Boxer breed are sought after because they give the black coat appearance.
White Boxers.
Boxers with white markings covering more than 1/3 of their coat, conventionally called white Boxers, are neither albino nor rare. Approximately 20 to 25% of all Boxers born are white. Genetically, these dogs are either fawn or brindle, with excessive white markings overlying the base coat color. Like fair-skinned humans, white Boxers have a higher risk of sunburn and associated skin cancers than colored Boxers. The extreme piebald gene, which is responsible for white markings in Boxers, is linked to congenital sensorineural deafness in dogs. It is estimated that about 18% of white boxers are deaf in one or both ears, though boxer rescue organizations see about double that number.
Temperament.
Boxers are a bright, energetic and playful breed and tend to be very good with children. They are active, strong dogs and require adequate exercise to prevent boredom-associated behaviors such as chewing, digging, or licking. Boxers have earned a slight reputation of being headstrong, which can be related to inappropriate obedience training. Owing to their intelligence and working breed characteristics, training based on corrections often has limited usefulness. Boxers, like other animals, typically respond better to positive reinforcement techniques such as clicker training, an approach based on operant conditioning and behaviorism, which offers the dog an opportunity to think independently and to problem solve. Stanley Coren's survey of obedience trainers, summarized in his book The Intelligence of Dogs, ranked boxers at number 48, average working obedience intelligence. Many who have worked with boxers disagree quite strongly with Coren's survey results, and maintain that a skilled trainer who uses reward-based methods will find boxers have far above average intelligence and working ability. The boxer by nature is not an aggressive or vicious breed. It is an instinctive guardian and can become very attached to its family. Like all dogs, it requires proper socialization. Boxers are generally patient with smaller dogs and puppies, but difficulties with larger adult dogs, especially those of the same sex, may occur. Boxers are generally more comfortable with companionship, in either human or canine form.
History.
The boxer is part of the Molosser dog group, developed in Germany in the late 19th century from the now extinct Bullenbeisser, a dog of Mastiff descent, and bulldogs brought in from Great Britain. The Bullenbeisser had been working as a hunting dog for centuries, employed in the pursuit of bear, wild boar, and deer. Its task was to seize the prey and hold it until the hunters arrived. In later years, faster dogs were favored and a smaller Bullenbeisser was bred in Brabant, in northern Belgium. It is generally accepted that the Brabanter Bullenbeisser was a direct ancestor of today's boxer. In 1894, 3 Germans by the names of Friedrich Robert, Hilard Koenig, and a Hoppner decided to stabilize the breed and put it on exhibition at a dog show. This was done in Munich in 1895, and the next year they founded the first boxer club, the Deutscher Boxer Club. The club went on to publish the first boxer breed standard in 1902, a detailed document that has not been changed much to this day. The breed was introduced to other parts of Europe in the late 19th century and to the United States around the turn of the 20th century. The American Kennel Club, AKC, registered the first boxer in 1904, and recognized the first boxer champion, Damp Vom Dom, in 1915. During World War I, the boxer was co-opted for military work, acting as a valuable messenger dog, pack carrier, attack dog, and guard dog. It was not until after World War II that the boxer became popular around the world. Taken home by returning soldiers, they introduced the dog to a wider audience and soon became a favorite as a companion, a show dog, and a guard dog.
Early genealogy.
The German citizen George Alt, a Munich resident, mated a brindle-colored bitch imported from France named Flora with a local dog of unknown ancestry, known simply as Boxer, resulting in a fawn and white male, named Lechner's Box after its owner. This dog was mated with his own dam Flora, and one of its offspring was a bitch called Alt Skeken. George Alt mated Skeken with a bulldog named Dr. Tennyson's Tom to produce the historically significant dog Milbauer's Flocky. Flocky was the first boxer to enter the German Star Book after winning the aforementioned show for St. Bernard's in Munich 1895, which was the first event to have a class specific for boxers. The white bitch Ch. Blanca von Angerter, Flocky's sister, was even more influential when mated with Piccolo von Angerter, Lechner's Bock's grandson, to produce the predominantly white, party-colored, bitch Meta von der Passage, which, even bearing little resemblance with the modern boxer standard, early photographs depicts her as too long, weak-backed and down-faced, is considered the mother of the breed. John Wagner, in The Boxer, first published in 1939, said the following regarding this bitch.
Breed name.
The name Boxer is supposedly derived from the breed's tendency to play by standing on its hind legs and boxing with its front paws. According to Andrew H. Brace's Pet Owner's Guide to the Boxer, this theory is the least plausible explanation. He claims it's unlikely that a nation so permeated with nationalism would give to one of its most famous breeds a name so obviously anglicized. German linguistic and historical evidence find the earliest written source for the word Boxer in the 18th century, where it is found in a text in the Deutsches Fremdwörterbuch, the German Dictionary of Foreign Words, which cites an author named Musaus of 1782 writing Das Erosefuhr cht Wort dem großen Baxer Summonet. Psychophonage Tageni and Geranimages Packvoss. Absenteret hat. At that time the spelling Baxer equaled Boxer. Both the verb, boxen, and the noun, Boxer, were common German words as early as the late 18th century. The term Boxl, also written Buxen or Buchsen in the Bavarian dialect, means short, leather, trousers, or underwear. The very similar sounding term Boxel, also from the Bavarian dialect, is an endearing term for boxer. More in line with historical facts, Brace states that there exist many other theories to explain the origin of the breed name, from which he favors the one claiming the smaller Bullenbeisser, Brabanter, were also known as Boxl, and the boxer is just a corruption of that word. In the same vein runs a theory based on the fact that there were a group of dogs known as Beer Boxer in Munich by the time of the breed's development. These dogs were the result from mixes of Bullenbeisser and other similar breeds. Beer probably refers to the Biergarten, the typical Munich beer garden, an open-air restaurant where people used to take their dogs along. The nickname Deutscher Boxer was derived from Beer Boxer, and Boxer could also be a corruption of the former or a contraction of the latter. A passage from the book The Complete Boxer by Milo G. Denlinger states, Boxer is also the name of a dog owned by John Peerybingle, the main character on the best-selling 1845 book The Cricket on the Hearth by Charles Dickens, which is evidence that Boxer was commonly used as a dog name by the early 19th century, before the establishment of the breed by the end of that same century. The name of the breed could also be simply due to the names of the very first known specimens of the breed, Lechner's box, for instance.
Health.
Leading health issues to which boxers are prone include cancers, heart conditions such as aortic stenosis and arrhythmogenic right ventricular cardiomyopathy, the so-called boxer cardiomyopathy, hypothyroidism, hip dysplasia, and degenerative myelopathy and epilepsy. Other conditions that may be seen are gastric dilatation and torsion, bloat, intestinal problems, and allergies, although these may be more related to diet than breed. Entropion, a malformation of the eyelid requiring surgical correction, is occasionally seen, and some lines have a tendency towards spondylosis deformans, a fusing of the spine, or dystocia. Other conditions that are less common but occur more often in boxers than other breeds are histiocytic ulcerative colitis, sometimes called boxer colitis, an invasive E. coli infection, and indolent corneal ulcers, often called boxer eye ulcers. According to a UK Kennel Club health survey, cancer accounts for 38.5% of boxer deaths, followed by old age, 21.5%, cardiac, 6.9% and gastrointestinal, 6.9% related issues. Average age of death was 9 years and 8 months. Responsible breeders use available tests to screen their breeding stock before breeding, and in some cases throughout the life of the dog, in an attempt to minimize the occurrence of these diseases in future generations. Boxers are known to be very sensitive to the hypertensive and bradycardiac effects of a commonly used veterinary sedative, espromazine. It is recommended that the drug be avoided in the boxer breed. As an athletic breed, proper exercise and conditioning is important for the continued health and longevity of the boxer. Care must be taken not to over-exercise young dogs, as this may damage growing bones. However, once mature boxers can be excellent jogging or running companions. Because of their brachycephalic head, they do not do well with high heat or humidity, and common sense should prevail when exercising a boxer in these conditions.
Uses.
Boxers are friendly, lively companions that are popular as family dogs. Their suspicion of strangers, alertness, agility, and strength make them formidable guard dogs. As puppies, boxers demonstrate a fascinating combination of mood-mirroring expressions, energetic curiosity, flexible attention spans and charming characteristics. They sometimes appear at dog agility or dog obedience trials and flyball events. These strong and intelligent animals have also been used as service dogs, guide dogs for the blind, therapy dogs, police dogs in canine units, and occasionally herding cattle or sheep. The versatility of boxers was recognized early on by the military, which has used them as valuable messenger dogs, pack carriers, and attack and guard dogs in times of